Half a century has passed, yet the shadow of the Godfather still looms over cinema history like an unshakable monument. On screen, you saw them draped in absolute power and unimaginable wealth. But have you ever wondered why the most legendary Godfathers in history faced such bitter and lonely ends in real life? Behind the legendary frames of The Godfather lie the tragedies of losing children, battles with crippling depression, and final breaths drawn through ventilators. Today, we go behind the curtain to reveal the cruel reality of this iconic cast. Marlon Brando, a one-of-a-kind legend who twice stood at the pinnacle of Hollywood with 2 Oscars, etched an immortal legacy with his commanding portrayal of Don Vito Corleone. Born in 1924 to a fractured family in Nebraska, Brando rose through sheer genius to redefine the art of acting. At 48, he gave us a Don Vito who was both authoritative and warm, a masterclass in performance that solidified his status as an irreplaceable titan. Yet behind that imposing presence was a soul riddled with scars. Brando endured a brutal childhood of physical abuse at the hands of a tyrannical father, while helplessly watching his mother wither away from alcoholism. In adulthood, the family tragedy turned even darker. His son, Christian, was imprisoned for killing his sister's boyfriend. Then, in 1995, the tragedy peaked when his daughter, Cheyenne, took her own life after a long battle with severe depression. These soul-crushing blows exhausted the man who played the strongest figure on screen. In his final years, the Godfather battled obesity, diabetes, and heart failure. He passed away in 2004 at the age of 80, dependent on a ventilator, leaving a void in the hearts of fans worldwide. If Brando was the foundation, Al Pacino was the soul of the saga as Michael Corleone, a tragic descent into the corrupting nature of power. Born into poverty in the South Bronx, the harshness of life forged his gritty edge. Few know that his darkest period came in 1962, when his mother died at just 43, followed by his grandfather a year later. His youth was a blur of alcohol and the haunting memory of losing 3 close friends to drug overdoses. He fought alcoholism throughout the 70s and underwent 25 years of therapy to overcome depression. Today, at 85, Al Pacino remains a vibrant force. Despite a near-death experience during a health crisis in 2020 and ongoing struggles with his vision, he stunned the world by welcoming his 4th child at age 83. Pacino is a testament to an enduring spirit that refuses to surrender to fate. James Caan immortalized himself as the explosive Sonny Corleone. Sonny's volatility and blind loyalty, brought to life by Caan, became symbols of the crime genre. But beneath that tough exterior was a shattered heart. The death of his sister, Barbara, from leukemia in 1981 plunged him into a deep hole of substance abuse and debilitating depression. He stepped away from Hollywood for a decade to battle his internal demons and mounting financial troubles. James Caan passed away in 2022 at age 82 from heart disease. He worked tirelessly until his final breath, leaving behind a legacy of fire, grit, and a singular style that audiences will never forget. Robert Duvall delivered a masterclass in steadfast loyalty as Tom Hagen, the silent consigliere. At 42, he provided the sharp, calm poise that balanced the Corleone family's volatility. In reality, Duvall's life has been defined by quiet solitudes. Despite 4 marriages, he has no children. The shadow of his strict admiral father, who once viewed him as a failure, followed him throughout his life. Now, at 95, living on a peaceful farm in Virginia, he admits to a hidden fear that the world will keep turning without noticing his departure. But for the world of cinema, the name Robert Duvall is an indelible mark that will never fade. Diane Keaton played Kay Adams at just 26, a flickering light of morality in a dark criminal empire. In real life, she was a true warrior. Since the age of 21, she faced basal cell carcinoma and struggled with bulimia throughout her youth. These were grueling physical and psychological battles she only dared reveal later in her memoirs. Sadly, the fashion and film icon left us on October 11, 2025, after a sudden bout of pneumonia. Though she never married, her love for her 2 adopted children and her devotion to art made her an eternal symbol of independence and character. More than 50 years have passed, and The Godfather remains an immortal monument. Yet behind the power and wealth on screen are the bitter shadows these legends had to endure. It was the endless agony of loss for Marlon Brando, the drunken escapes from Al Pacino, and the quiet solitude of Robert Duvall's twilight years. In the end, it was these real-life scars that sculpted performances with such haunting depth. They didn't just act, they used the pain of their own lives to weave these cinematic masterpieces. These legendary godfathers were, after all, only human, struggling with a cruel fate, even while standing in the brightest spotlight. Whose life story touched you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next stories on the legends of cinema. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.